Okay. Guys, I'm so excited. Oh, man. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Year 3. We're doing this again. Last year, I actually wasn't able to finish the entire course, if you guys noticed that I didn't finish all of the stuff that I was doing. Why? Medical school. I was a third-year medical student. I took step 2. I took all of my different, core sort of rotations. I had to take a break from TikTok, had busy stuff going on with my family. My sister just got married 2 weeks ago. Please pray for her. So it was absolutely wild time in my life. At the time, I was already thinking about moving, right? I was already thinking about moving. Guys, you have a very specific job. Every now and again, you make sure that the phone's recording, and you make sure that that light on the microphone monitor is going off. Because the 2 biggest problems I used to run into is my video wasn't recording and my mic cut out. And it pissed me off to no end. Do you guys know how we just didn't have a chapter 1 video last year? It's because my mic cut out. I was not re-recording this lecture. No way. This is one of my least favorite lectures to give, the one we're going to do today. But before we start, we'll do a really quick introduction to the program. If you guys don't need this introduction, if you guys are just here for the content, skip 10 minutes ahead. Doesn't matter, right? Okay. Someone asked before we started, by the way, this is your first time here. I'm Yusuf Hassan. That's all you need to know about me. Okay. You guys know a lot more about me, though. Okay. Order of subjects. How would I, let me phrase this very properly. How would I, as a student in your position, study for the MCAT again? Number 1, I'd study early. That's the thing. Not early in school, but I would study earlier than people are studying. Because people are stupid, right? You guys aren't stupid. People are stupid, right? I'm stupid. So if people are stupid, the reason that I was stupid is because I only studied for 6 months. And that means that I had a slow sort of start and come up to studying, and then I had an absolute dead scramble at the end of my prep. So the first month of prep, right, the first month, every week I was maybe getting through 7 to 8 hours of, I was not going to say the other thing, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But you do. I don't want to know how many younger siblings you have. Okay, so 7 to 8 hours a week, I was just studying, which is an hour and a half a day, taking my time off, just sleeping, taking a nap with my cat every now and again, you know what I mean? I was really, I don't even think I had a cat at this point. Sorry, I did not have a cat at this point. I got my cat when I was in my, no, I did. I did have a cat. I had my cat in my second year of undergrad, not my second year of medical school. My cat's name is Sage. You guys should ask me for pictures of her. I love Sage. Okay, I miss her a lot. She's back in New York. So the thing is, for the first month, I was studying 7 to 8 hours a week, and I got through maybe a book and a half, right? 2 books, because Gen Chem went pretty quick for me. And then Orgo I did in a day, so 3 books. Okay, fine. Now, I'm not a good example. Like I said, I'm not a good, by the way, for now until the rest of time, I am not the example for you. I'm cracked. I am an academic weapon. I am not everyone in the entire world. And I know that. I'm very open about that. If I tell you that I did something and it's unrealistic, I'm going to be straight up. Not everyone in the world can do 140 year-old questions a day for 7 days straight. I got through 900 year-old questions in a week. Done, reviewed, and put to dirt. And that's just who I was. You do not need to be that to succeed. Okay. But then, by the end of it, by the 6th month, I was studying 13 to 15 hours per day. So something's not right here. Right? I don't want you to have to do that. I don't want you to have to live that life of wake up, pray, study, eat, pray, study, talk to my mom for 5 minutes, go back downstairs, cry, pray, study, pray in the room that I'm studying in, that I'm also sleeping in, that I'm also waking up to eat in, and then studying and just ruining my entire sort of life here. Are they trying to get in? They can come in. It's completely fine. Guys, don't be weird. Use the front door. It's fine. You're not interrupting anything.
Just making sure we're in the right.
You're fine. Okay. So, like I said, not feasible. It's not a feasible way of life. And it shows because if you look, I did the same thing for medical school, and if you look at my videos from 2 years ago, and you look at my videos now, where I'm wearing pretty much the same outfit, you'll notice something. I gained a lot of weight because I was not taking care of myself. I gained 15 pounds in medical school, right? I was not taking care of myself. I do not want you guys to suffer the way that I suffered studying for the MCAT or studying for step 1 or for step 2. Is it going to happen? Yes. Am I going to give you the advice to try to avoid it? 100%. So I would lengthen your study process a little bit. And you'd be surprised what a difference just 4 to 6 weeks can make. So instead of 6 months, just make it 7 to 8. You'd be very surprised how much of a difference 4 weeks can make. Are you guys okay? You guys like sitting on top of one another? Okay, interesting. I'm not going to dig deeper on that. I thought we were weird in New York, but I thought that wasn't allowed here. All right. Anyways, so I would recommend, number 1, expanding your study time, right? 7 to 8 months is a perfect amount of time to study. Now, how do you split that up? I have a whole study guide out about this. Do you guys know Yasmin? She's like the person who sort of works with me in the group chat. If you guys are in the group chat, right? Yasmin and I are working on creating a new study guide for like literally this year and like the next couple of years, because from what I gather, and if anyone's taking the MCAT already before, please let me know. From what I gather, the MCAT's becoming much more just like a test of your patience than it is a test of your knowledge. It's just passage after passage after passage after passage after passage. So by even the wisdom behind expanding the amount of time that you're going to spend studying isn't just that you get more time to study, you develop a patience with yourself. You need to be able to sit down for that many months, for that many hours, for that many things, for this, that. Now, there are some rules and stipulations about this. And a lot of people don't like these rules. Just like the rules before were like kind of funny and like just situations that presented themselves to me, these are things that actually happen to students that piss me off. Okay. No 2-week vacations. Absolutely not. Can you take 5 days off and bounce back? 100%. Can you take a week off and bounce back? Yeah, you could. Can you take an entire 2 weeks off and come back and have the same momentum that you did before? No, you can't. And the reason I'm saying you can't, it's not that I don't believe in you. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be different. I have single-handedly, one-on-one tutored over 35 people in the MCAT. Every single person who has done this has failed. Failed. And what I mean by failed is they're over 15 points from their goal score. Failed. Every single person. Because they think they're different, and they think they can bounce back, and they think it's not going to harm them, and oh, my family goes to India every year, I have to go. You don't have to do anything. The one thing you have to do is study for the MCAT. Okay? You have to study for the MCAT, or else you won't do well, and you won't get into medical school, and no one will ever love you ever again. That's not true. I won't love you. That's not true either. Let me think of a threat. I'll come back to you. Okay. Anyways, no 2-week vacations, number 1. You must have, that's not how you spell have. Wow, that's crazy. Have blank off. What's the blank? A day off. You have to. You have to. You are not a superhuman. I don't care if you are a quantum physics major who's writing their 14th thesis in freaking electron tunneling, and how many times do I have to smack the board until my hand goes through it? I don't care. I really couldn't care less, right? If you got that joke, very funny, right? Hilarious. I think it's the funniest thing in the world, right? Okay. You have to have a day off. You have to. Even when I was studying 13, 14, 15 hours a day, my parents would come to me on Friday and be like, oh my God, you're alive. Like, we're actually interacting with you. I was like, yeah, it's my day off. And I remember I got into a little bit of a tussle with someone on campus about the time and location and everything of this program. And they're like, can you teach on this day? And I was like, no, because that's my day off. I'm very firm about my day off. And you should be too. And what I mean by day off means when Ammuji comes to you and she says, oh my God, can you come run this errand with me? You're like, no, Mom, it's my day off. Trust me, On the days that you're studying, you're still going to have time to spend with your friends and family and this and that and everything. Especially if you take a little bit of a longer study schedule. You buy yourself a little more time throughout the day. It's about cumulative practice. You guys seeing my point here? You guys kind of understanding what I'm getting at here, right? What are you guys laughing about? What's so funny? Am I funny? You want to come teach this class?
I'm not even pre-med.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I know you're not. Like, what are you doing here? Okay. Cool. You must have a day off. All right. What else about studying? Guys, what was the last rule that I wrote down before? Do you guys remember? You guys have a sharp memory? Eclectic memories? Anyone? It's what? It's going to be okay. There are tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of millions of people who took this exam before you. It's going to be fine. And one of the best people to ever take this exam is standing in front of you. And I don't say that lightly. I got above a 98th percentile score on this exam. I got a 521. That puts me in the top 2% of people to take the test for my year. But I'm willing to bet that top 2% for my year is top 5% in all years. I would call that one of the best. Not that I'm one of the best people, but I got one of the best scores. And I'm here to pass that on to you. Okay? We're going to get through this together. So, subjects. I always recommend a very specific process by which you study. Everything is very concise. Everything is very methodical. First rule of subjects. Do not mix and match. Do not mix and match. Okay? Thank you guys for coming. Don't mix and match. Meaning, if you're studying one subject, study one subject. Okay? Finish that subject and move on. Okay? Yes? This is sort of like syllabus week. I know you guys are getting bored. We're going to get into the content very soon. Okay? One subject at a time. And one subject at a time in this exact order. General biology. General chemistry. Organic chemistry. Biochem. Everything else. I don't care about the last part. Nothing else really matters to me. Gen bio, gen chem, orgo, biochem, everything else. Because in order to understand the OChem, you need the gen chem. In order to understand the biochem, you need the OChem and the gen bio. But you can't do the OChem without the gen chem. And if you do them side by side, they lead into one another. So don't put the bio between the gen chem and the OChem. Okay, you see how it's very methodical? It's thought out. It's almost like there's a nature, a science to these things, right? It's beautiful, right? Okay, so that's the order of the subject. Timing, like I said, should take you about 7 to 8 months to be done. We want to be done. We want to be done here with all the sciences and everything, and hopefully I can find someone to teach you guys physics finally. I'm trying to get someone on my payroll, right? Hopefully, we'll be done by January. I'm going to say January. But that doesn't mean we're done with classes. I will continue teaching. I will review and do cross-subject analysis and do specific passage-based questions. And I will do Q&A sessions. And I will do podcast episodes in here. And you guys can be part of all of it. Not that you have to, but you can. Okay? All right. Cool. Stress. Have the day off. Have a good support system. Don't be hard on yourself. Reach out to me, someone who's done it before. I'm here to help you, not berate you and judge you. Okay? Reach out to me if you need help. Or her. Or him. I trust them. Okay? And if you can't get to me, get to them. And then they'll get you to me. Okay? What else can you do for stress? Have a hobby. You guys are just like, I don't know what's happening, but everyone's hobby these days, like I asked someone what their hobby was, they're like, shopping. I was like, bro, you're broke. How do you have a hobby that you can't even do? They're like, oh, what's your hobby? Running in circles. Literally, that's what I do for fun. I run in circles. Like, you don't need anything to do that. Guys, all right, anyone, cool hobby, anyone, something I haven't heard before, yeah. Sleeping. Get the fuck out. Anyone else?
Legos.
Never heard that one before. Anyone else? Yes. Okay, getting very popular now. Maybe getting uncool, but still cool. Okay. Anyone else?
Doom scrolling?
Diamond painting. What is that?
It's like color by number, but with like little diamonds.
Oh, I've seen that before. That's like that brain rot on TikTok that they put behind the stories, like the Reddit stories that they're narrating. Yeah, she said diamond painting, where like they have those little like stickers and things like that. Okay, hobbies. Anyone else? Skateboarding. All right, I like longboarding. I'm not courageous enough to skateboard. Skateboarding's cool. That is cool. I will say that. Anyone else?
Lifting?
Huh?
Lifting.
Lifting's not cool.
You said it 'cause
Everyone and their mom has done that or does that or will do that or any. I feel like who here has picked up a weight before in a trained regiment? Every single person in the room's hand should be. You've done it at one point. Never? Okay. okay, cool. I was worried. This dude's huge. Sitting in the second row talking about, I've never lifted a weight before. Okay, anyways. Did anyone like cooking? Does anyone like cooking? Yeah? Cooking was my thing. That was my thing, right? But unfortunately, I only really started cooking like more often after I took my MCAT. All of my hobbies were like gone down the drain when I was studying. And it's part of the reason that I had such a difficult time studying for the MCAT. So keep a hobby. Keep a hobby. Try to do it every day. And if you can't do it every day, do it on your day off. Dedicate your whole day to it. Your hobby can also just be like seeing friends. There's nothing wrong with that. I asked about cool hobbies because I just want to hear some interesting stuff about you guys. Because I tell you a lot about me. I want to know some stuff about you. Who is going to be here like consistently? Oh God, so many people. Oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Okay, anyways. Dates, not that kind. And not that kind either. Not the ones you go on, not the ones that you eat. Right? Okay. MCAT dates. I'm not the person to ask. I'm so sorry. There is someone in the UTD chat, Yasmin. I will mention her name a lot. She is my secretary. I pay her. She works with me, right? Not for me. She works with me. And she gets a certain percent of a lot of profits that I make from the WhatsApp group and YouTube and whatever it is, right? So if you guys need help, you ask her. That's what she's there for. I pay her for this, right? That doesn't mean blow up her phone. That doesn't mean message her at 4 in the morning, right? But if you guys need help and you already reached out to me and I did not respond, you go to her, okay? Reach out to me first. But with this stuff, go to her. When it comes time to do this stuff, go to her. And she will help you out or have other people who can help you out as well, okay? I took the MCAT 4 years ago. I do not know this stuff anymore. I don't even remember registering for it. All I remember is that little guy running in the corner of the screen waiting for you to get. You guys, is he still there? That guy who, when you register for the MCAT, he runs in the corner of the screen waiting for it. Yeah? It's like, it shows you like 14,000 people are in front of you in line. You're like, I'm never taking this exam. Ma and Baba are going to beat me tonight. Like, I get the spatula ready at this point. Like, is anyone here Bengali? I am too, if you didn't know that. I had friends who, my parents never beat me when I was a kid. Thankfully. I'm very, very open about that. I love my parents so much, right? May God bless them, you know. Say I mean, come on, like we have Muslims in the room. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. You guys like hate me or something. Wow. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna cut this video. I'm just gonna make it a study, like a pre-study video, because it's long enough to be its own video. And then we'll get started. Okay. So I had these friends and they basically, their parents used to beat them when they did like really, really, really bad stuff. And I'm talking about, like, they lived in Bangladesh at the time. And then what happened is that like they outgrew it, obviously, but they're still doing like homework and like sitting at the table and doing it and doing this and doing that. Their mom was a teacher, and she used to point at the homework with the same spatula she used to beat them with. It was just like the craziest negative association of all time. I was like, wow, no wonder you guys suck in school. Like, one of them's a CS major living under the Brooklyn Bridge right now. Like, it's layers to that one. You got to think through it. All right, med school. If you have questions about medical school, if you have questions about going to medical school, getting into medical school, living in medical school, studying medical school, whether or not you're doing the right thing, et cetera, this is that, I'm more than happy to ask. But the one thing I want to say is maybe now's not the time. Divert that focus forward rather than sideways. You are trying to look at the sunset and you have a hill in front of you. You wouldn't look around the hill. You'd just climb the hill to get a better view of the sunset. Medical school is here. You are here. with your receding hairline, right? And this is the MCAT. See what I did there? Because it's like the distribution. See? Cool, right? Yeah. 500. 500. 510. 485. That's you. That's medical school. You're trying to look around the hill, and I'm at the top. I'm all the way over here. Not even. I'm all the way over here. Like, this is residency. I'm I'm right there, dog. I'm over here calling to you from over the hill, being like, there's only one way. There's only one way you're ever going to taste that. And I won't have you settle for less. No student of mine is walking out of here without giving it their all. Because not only are you selling yourself short, the world just lost out on another doctor. You could have saved someone's life and you didn't because you didn't study hard enough. That's fucking pathetic. You're a pathetic person. I'm sorry for the harsh words, but if you truly know that you could have and you just didn't work hard enough, you're a horrible person. To yourself and to everyone else. Be serious. Take it very seriously. Okay? I'm going to catch a lot of flack for that on the internet, and I don't care. Very good. 6, the thing that I wanted to remember. I will correct you when you're wrong. I will yell at you when you're being out of line. I will be very serious when I have to. I will thread absolute lead through the air in the room and make it difficult for you to breathe at times with the amount of information I'm throwing you at any given time. I deeply love and respect every single one of you. You are my students. And everything that I say in this room is because I want what's best for you. And from now until the time that you walk out of there and never come back, and hopefully on to medical school, I need you to remember that. That I'm not here to judge you, or make you feel bad, or make you feel different, or make you feel left out. None of that. I'm here to help. Okay? Understood? Okay. So, that's a little bit of an introduction to what we're going to do. And we will finally begin. Chapter 1. The cell. Who can tell me what a cell is? Who here's a bio major? Cell bio, neurobio, whatever it is. Any sort of bio. Yeah? One person? What was your name again? Mariam. Mariam, tell me what a cell is. Anything. Your definition of a cell. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be wrong.
The unit of life.
Yeah. Good. I like that. Anyone else? Take a crack at it. Tell me your thoughts. What is a cell? So we said the cell is a unit of life. What else? Yes?
Can make more of itself.
Can make more of itself. Okay? It's very complicated. As we're seeing, sometimes you guys will get super, super, super deep into a field, right? You guys will become masters of your own craft. Some of you will get master's degrees. Some of you will get PhDs. Some of you will get MDs, aside from your doctoral degrees. If you guys think you're going to go to medical school and the thirst for knowledge is going to stop, it never stops. I took a year off from school to go back to school, only to go back to school to go train for 9 more years. The thirst for knowledge never stops. Okay? So, some of you will become masters of your craft. Some of you will become fantastic doctors, leaders of communities. You guys will teach your own students. Someone's going to be doing this program when I'm not around. Someone's going to be teaching people how to take the MCAT. Hopefully this exam's gone at some point. I think it's so unnecessary. But someone's going to be teaching people how to take the MCAT long after I've already become an attending. Right? Maybe someday, right? But even though you're so You're so critical. You're so good at what you do, right? You've been studying biology for God knows how many years. You can't tell me what a cell is? Why is that? It's because for some reason, when people teach you things, they teach you the complicated and expect you to put together the simple. And you just never did. In philosophy class, we did this exercise. It's called the necessary and sufficient definitions. The necessary and sufficient definitions of a bachelor. Someone shoots their hand up. Unmarried man. They're like, okay, what about my son? He's 7 years old. Is he a bachelor? No, he's a child, right? Unmarried male adult. What about my dog? Unmarried male adult human being. What about my grandfather whose wife passed away? Unmarried, never married male adult human being. There you go. That's a bachelor. Unmarried, never married male adult human being. Okay? You guys see what I'm doing there? Do you guys see the rhetoric that we're using? This is rhetorical analysis. And rhetorical analysis becomes really, really important when you're talking about very basic things. Because basic things have complicated backgrounds, right? So when we talk about a cell, it's best to talk about it in the absolute minimum of things that it does. And this is known as cell theory. To Merriam's point, that the cell is the unit of life, right? All living things are made of cells. And that's when people start to go, oh, that's what he's talking about. Because you guys have done this 40 times in biology class. All living things are made of cells. The cell is the basic functional unit of life. Cells arise from, right? You guys have done it. You just don't remember it because you don't spend as much time with this content as you do the difficult stuff. But this is super important because this does come up. The cell is the basic functional unit of life. I use abbreviations a lot. This says functional, functional, right? Unit of life. Cells arise from pre-existing cells. Yes? And one very important one that I'm going to put off to the side over here. Please tell me if this is showing up on camera. I'm still in frame, right? Yeah. Okay. Cells carry genetic info in the form of DNA that is passed onto daughter cells. I know there's someone who's very intelligent here who's saying, when I say DNA, they say, and RNA. Anyone? Did that thought cross your head? Because it crossed mine. Did that thought cross anyone's head? Be completely honest with me. Be very honest. When I said DNA, did you say and RNA? You're incorrect. And I was incorrect one day too. Why am I incorrect? Someone who's smarter than me, tell me why I'm incorrect. I'm going to over-teach this class. Because then when we see it again in the future, you're going to be like, oh, we covered this already. This lecture takes so long because I teach you half of everything else as well. Why not RNA? Think critically. Think critically.
Only contains one strand.
Huh?
Only contains one strand.
So what? If I injected RNA into my body, does it do something? It does. So it can form processes. It's compartmentalized. It can be translated. It carries some sort of code. It carries some sort of information. Why can't RNA be here?
Maybe like for transport, like DNA can be condensed and stuff. But
Yes. 2 reasons that I can think of. This isn't in the textbook. This is just something that I'm telling you to keep in mind that this is true. Number 1 is that RNA is actually metastable. Anyone here a biochem major? Anyone here really good at biochem? Very good at biochem. Okay. I'm going to say something that's going to make sense if you are very good at biochem, right? RNA is made of ribose and not deoxyribose. So RNA has a 2' hydroxy group that is actually 5 positions away from the phosphate bond that it has with its phosphate backbone. Since it's 5 bonds away from that phosphate bond, what RNA is actually able to do is reach over and kick off the phosphate and cyclize itself. And once RNA cyclizes, it can never be used again. That's what I mean by metastable. It is stable for a short amount of time until it closes in on itself. So at this level, until we get to biochem and I can draw that whole thing out for you, I want you to know that RNA eventually destroys itself. RNA eventually destroys itself. Even when it's in the form of a vaccine. I am making a political statement now. What's up, Doc? How's everything?
I'm good.
Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, DNA. Do we have DNA? What about flies and rabbits and bunnies and this and that? So, eukaryotes. Prokaryotes? Yeah? Are we sure? 100%. We're positive. Yes, we are. We are positive. Yeah. Eukaryotes. RNA? Yeah. But do we pass it on? Do we pass on packages of RNA? No. Prokaryotes? No. What does pass on RNA? Anyone? What passes on RNA? Viruses. Yes. But am I going to include RNA because viruses have RNA? Why am I not including RNA here? I just told you RNA is transported from viruses, right? They're not alive. They're not made of cells. We're talking about cells, not moving weird packages of protein. We're talking about cells. So no, cells do not transport RNA from parent to daughter. And when virus is transported, it's not even to daughter. It's into you and to me and to bacteria and to this and to that. They don't have anything except for proteins and RNA or DNA. Does that mean viruses don't have DNA? No. But if viruses have DNA, why are they not alive? They're not made of cells. They don't do these cellular functions. They don't do respiration and this and that and all the compartmentalized things that we do. Was anyone here? I gave a lecture this past weekend about a general cross-subject overview of chapters 1 through 5 of general biology. Was anyone here there? Yeah? Do you remember what I said, like the theme of that lesson was? I looped back to it at the end. Compartmentalization.
Oh, yeah.
The cell is a powerhouse of this one beautiful thing in the body. It's called compartmentalization. Fun fact, I've been to therapy before. I am a brown man who's been to therapy before. You can laugh at me all you want, right? All right, my dad's a psychiatrist, by the way. Okay, so I've been to therapy before. My therapist was like, you need to compartmentalize. Make space for this in your head, make space for that in your head, make space for that in your head. Your cells do that very well, right? And I want you to keep this in mind as we move forward, right? Okay. Let's talk about some of the differences, just a few, of eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. I hate my life. Guys, you'll come to realize I'm a very dramatic person. I'm really, really dramatic. What time's mock up today? Huh? 7:38. Okay, someone please let me know when the mock up goes off. Okay. Am I writing big enough? Do you guys need me to write bigger? Yes? Okay. Let's write bigger. All right. Better? Need to get better markers. That's what I need.
It's not very visible on camera.
It's not? Okay, we'll use black. I always have a problem with the green marker. How are the shadows? Not too bad? Like, I know they're there.
For the board, it's fine, but like,
Shadows are okay? Like, it's not distracting while I'm writing or anything like that? Okay, cool. Eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Anyone? Anyone? Yeah? Yeah. Not just that, but they're single-celled. A single cell. So efficient at compartmentalizing that it can do everything necessary for life by itself. Doesn't need to communicate with anyone else, right? And what else is special? No nucleus. And what my man said over there, no membrane bound organelles. How does a bacteria undergo respiration? Where is a bacteria's electron transport chain? Where does that take place? On the membrane. Isn't that sick? Isn't that so cool? They don't need anything else to do respiration. They just do it on their membrane. It's crazy, right? That's like the first time my dad noticed that I was teaching at home. He's just like, he said you were teaching. And I was like, yeah. He's like, you're sitting right in front of me. I was like, yeah, I'm teaching from right here. He's like, you can do that? Right? And then he hijacked my computer setup for like 3 months, and we had to share a computer, and I got so mad. Oh my God. Okay. Eukaryotic organisms are single or multicellular. Give me an example of a single-celled eukaryote. Yeast. I just made bread the other day. I love my yeasty boys. Right? They make me so happy. It smells so good. I love the smell of baking bread. Anyone else bake bread? Anyone? I make focaccia and like some flatbreads and things like that, but nothing crazy. I'm trying to get started on sourdough, but I do not have the himma. I don't have the drive to make a starter. I'm not going to shoknai, Multicellular, you and me, and Sage. Who's Sage? Yeah, my cat. I love her so much. My little cat. She's turning 6. I love her. Inside my body, even if you can't see it, even when you aren't able to feel it, even when you can't hear it, there is a beating heart and a colon and a liver and a kidney and a brain and my adrenal glands and the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla and my skin and the layers of the skin and the this and the that and all the blood vessels and all of the sort of, reproductive organs, and then you have your lungs and you have your pancreas and you have your spleen and your thyroid and your thymus and your lymph nodes and everything, and all of it is organized in such a way that they communicate with one another and with themselves and within their cells and within the things within the cells in such a way that everything works perfectly. This is the idea of compartmentalization. And the reason that I'm able to do that so effectively, and a bacteria could never, like stupid, dumb bacteria could never be me, even though it could probably kill me, right? If you pick the right one. Right? Even though they're trying, they can never be me. Why? Because I have membrane-bound organelles. You might not know that, but it makes you pretty cool that you have membrane-bound organelles. Yeah. You know what I've got? E. coli. I've got membrane-bound organelles, right? I can make ATP better than you can. Ha! You could probably make me chop my own leg off, but at least I've got some membrane-bound organelles. You know what I mean? But it allows for this incredible compartmentalization and this actual efficiency of the way that things work. That glycolysis leads directly into the Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle leads directly in the electron transport chain. That the ATP gets exactly where it needs to go. That the pyruvate or lactate that's made from anaerobic respiration goes back to the liver, goes back to this. The kidneys filter it properly. This gets that done properly. Everything gets done properly, right? So you see that eukaryotic organisms are actually much more refined than prokaryotic organisms, right? Yes? And in cells, we have to talk about the general anatomy of a cell. And I like to put this chart up and then just add to it, right? So this is a U cell. That's you in a cell, okay? That's, if I took one of your cells from your skin or your muscles or your this or your that, right? Let's say this guy looks like he works out. He's got like 400 freaking mitochondria lined up against one another, right? He's got all his mitochondria. He's got his nucleus, right? Anyone know what that dot is called? The nucleolus, right? Inside the nucleus. Very good. Good job, right? What stain do we use to see the nucleus? Does anyone remember? I don't remember personally. Does anyone know what stain we use to see the nucleus really clearly? Huh? It might be. I'm not sure. Look it up. I genuinely want to know, right? And we'll add to this. So these are all of our mitochondria. And the mitochondria is, of course, the... Wow! Oh my God, they said the thing. Oh my God, they said the thing, right? Okay. So what is this stuff in between? Cytoplasm, right? Cytoplasm, cytosol, right? I think one of them is like the actual like gelatinous material, and the cytosol is like the liquid that makes it up. You know what I mean? And then we have the nucleus. So the nucleus contains all of the genetic information. Guys, by the way, one change that I'm making this year, I'm not writing as much. I noticed that I spent a lot of my time earlier in my lecture videos writing. You guys have to write. I don't, because I'm not going to waste your time. But I will give you enough time to write, 100%. And if I'm not giving you enough time to write, say something, okay? Remember, we're all friends. Relax. Everyone take a deep breath. Lean back. Everyone lean back. Everyone lean back. I don't want to see you hunched over it. Lean back. Everyone relax. It's okay. It's going to be you. Okay. So the nucleus has all your genetic... Oh my God, she's back. You! Relax. Okay. No, I'm just picking on you. I'm just making fun of you. I'm just making fun. I will make fun of all of you in due time. Don't worry. So the nucleus has the genetic information of the cell condensed into a tiny, 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 tiny little ball, right? So all of that genetic information is packed inside that tiny cell. Now, how did we do that? Well, I didn't do it. I don't actively think it's like, oh my God, time to wrap up my DNA. And I just sit there looking constipated for a few seconds. I'm like, okay, done. Right? Like, you don't actively do this. Stuff happens in your body, and then this happens. How you think it happens, I don't care. It was God to me, right? Okay. So that is important because it allows us to keep track of exactly where the genetic material is. And the thing is, other than when cells are reproducing, which is a very, very testy period, whenever anything's reproducing in this world, it's a very difficult, very stressful time, especially human beings. Pregnancy is crazy. When you get to medical school, you learn about pregnancy, you will learn how unbelievably ridiculous it is that a human being can do that. You will learn the intricacies, the ins, outs, insides, backwards, side, left, right, up, down, center of pregnancy. And you will never be the same person ever again. Because you will look and you will say, I cannot believe that a human being can do that. I can't even hold a fork properly. I'm not even that good at breathing, okay? All right. What is mitosis, everyone?
Cell division.
Yeah, it's cell division. Okay. The nucleus. Let's talk about the nucleus. Stupid prokaryotes. Get out of here, man. No nucleus have an S. Crazy. All right. The nucleus. This is basically cell HQ. Everything that happens, will happen, does happen, did happen, is going to happen in the nucleus, right? It's one part of the cell that's surrounded by a double membrane. A double membrane, right? Whenever something's surrounded by a double membrane, I think of a double membrane like a gated neighborhood. It's like, yo, we're in the neighborhood. Like, we're away from civilization, but like, I'm too good for you. Like, you peasants, you only make $800,000 a year, right? Like, come look at my $15 million mansion from your stupid backyard 50,000-gallon pool. I have that on my roof, and I have a helicopter, right? So the nucleus is inside being like, yo, this DNA, you could never. You could literally not, because you can't. Because no one but the nucleus can. Until mitosis and we eat the rich for a bit, right? Okay. What's so important about a double membrane? Like, I understand, like, cell membrane's cool. Bro, your membrane has holes in it. What's so special about it? Yeah, it's only permeable to certain things. You guys remember from biology and biochemistry how hard it is to get through a single membrane, right? Imagine two. It's just a little more difficult, right? And not just that, it's not just that you can get to the DNA. You need the right transcription factors with the right molecules at the right time, at the right part of the cell process, at the right sort of like points of attachment in order to just do one thing, right? How are we looking? Good? Okay, perfect. Other than the giant crack on my screen. So nuclear pores allow for movement of things in and out of the cell. Now, here's the thing. When we learn something new, what are we going to do with the picture? We're going to update it, right? All right, so we have tiny, tiny nuclear pores. That's it. It's the only change we're making. People in the back, I'm trying to write bigger, I promise. Okay. Linear DNA is wrapped around histone proteins and bundled up. I drew the histones like that in a specific way. They're like a cube. It's like a little cube. Anyone ever done like microbio, cell bio? Histone proteins are like a cube with a rod down the middle. Very interesting. And this is further turned into chromosomes. Sorry, I've been getting over a cold. I was pretty sick this weekend, so I apologize for my voice. Guys, this and this, I want you to name them. Anyone know the names of what I'm looking for? Yeah, which one's which? Histone's hetero, right? Heterochromatin. Euchromatin. If that doesn't make sense to you, just know that. Loose DNA is euchromatin. Heterochromatin is, right? Compressed, dark, concentrated DNA. Correct? And we also talked about the nucleolus. Okay? That's all we'll know about the nucleus for now. For now. Right? That's all we need. What can you tell me about the mitochondria? Okay, so the mitochondria is LMAO, powerhouse of the cell. Got to get that out of the way. Double membrane. Two membranes, inner and outer. So now, instead of our very muscular man over there, let's have one mitochondria. Maybe it's a medical student who has been sitting in his desk studying for 14 hours a day for multiple weeks. All the muscles are atrophied. Let's do one big mitochondria. And we'll do two membranes. Why am I making that inner membrane squiggly? Yes, they're called cristae. Those have a very specific name. I had a teacher recently who told me, never assume that something I write deliberately is a mistake. And I thought, that's such a weird thing to say. That's strange. But he wasn't being arrogant. He was being protective. He said, when you see something on the board, always assume that there's a reason, even if you don't get it yet. Even if you don't understand yet. When I wrote RNA is metastable, maybe some of you still don't understand what I meant by that. It's okay. Patience, sabr, right? The Arabic word for patience is sabr. Okay, patience. What do cristae do? These little folds, I'm not going to draw on that because that's our big diagram. These little folds on the inner membrane are known as cristae. Christe. Not your friend Christy. Christe. The thing you would call her if you're like half asleep, right? Christe. All right. If you zoom in on that and give me a slice, you would see so many proteins going in and out and this and that and blah, blah, blah and all of this and everything. And it's compressed down and it's on a tiny, tiny little speck of that. So the more you fold it, the more area you get to do that. This reminds me of a paradox that you guys should look up later. If you guys have seen my old videos, you know about this, what I'm going to bring up. It's called the coastline paradox. Anyone know what the coastline paradox is? Where if you try to measure a paradox, if you try to measure a coastline, what happens?
The smaller your increment of measurement, the more you get.
Yeah. So the thing is, we're packing these proteins into such small segments that we can just, if I can pack 5 of them into like a nanometer, and I put 5,000 of them together, it's going to be a huge thing. Then I can just bend it and bend it and bend it and switch it up and put it inside of there. Right? Do you guys get that? Do you guys understand? Any questions about that? It increases the efficiency of the mitochondria. Right? Gives you more space to work with. Good? Okay. This next part, wicked interesting. Coolest thing about cell biology, in my opinion. Mitochondria, or at least about the mitochondria. Probably about cell bio in general. Because of the pathophysiology that comes, the pathogenesis and pathophysiology that comes out of it. Mitochondria have their own what? Genes. Have their own genes. She's excited to be here. Have their own genes. Mitochondria have their own genes. What does that mean? They replicate by themselves. So the thing is, sperm have mitochondria. That's a mistake I made in the past lectures that I have since corrected. Sperm have mitochondria, right? They don't pass them on, which means your mitochondria came from your mom, and my mitochondria came from my mom. And if they replicate by themselves, that means that my mom's mitochondria came from her mom, and her mom's came from her mom, and her mom's came from her mom, and every single mitochondria in the entire world, for every person who's ever been born and ever will be, came from one woman. Isn't that nuts? Every single mitochondria ever, anyone you'll ever make and anyone you've ever made and anyone your children and their children until the end of time will ever make, is from one egg cell. Or a bunch, right? But one person. A single person. And this is why we have things known as mitochondrial disease. There are diseases in medicine known as mitochondrial diseases. That if a mom has it, you've got it. You're going to see this on a chart. Square is male, circle is female. That's what you'll see. That when this person has kids, they all get it. And when this person has kids, they all get it. But when this person has kids, they don't. That's called mitochondrial inheritance. Mitochondrial maternal inheritance. Cool, right? Cool stuff? We're over-teaching the hell out of the chapter right now. What else are mitochondria responsible for? There's one thing. Yes, very good. Very good. Fantastic. They are responsible for cell sewage slide. Interpret that as you will. Apoptosis, right? Apoptosis. You have this whole back pathway with the CP450 and the cytochrome C and the this and the this and that. And this is part of the reason part of the reason the mitochondria has that double membrane. We're protecting against this. If the stuff in the mitochondria got out, oh, cell's dead. Cell's dead, right? I can't even think of a good enough analogy to tell you how dead the cell is, right? If I came in and I was some mad scientist and you were a single-celled organism, I would just poke a hole in your mitochondria and you'd be dead. You'd be gone, done, finished. Sets off this crazy cascade. Caspases and cytochromes and back and open channels and this and that and blah, 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 and whatever it is, and cell death. Done. Don't look at that. Look at me. What are you guys doing? It's a phone. You see one every day. Look at the board. What's that thing from The Boys? Look at me. I didn't watch that show, but I've seen that clip everywhere. You guys will soon realize about me that I haven't watched a lot of stuff. People are like, have you watched this? No. Have you watched this? No. Have you watched this movie? Nah. Oh my God, everyone watches this movie. What's that new show that my sister just watched? The Summer I Turned Pretty? My sister just finished it. You called me crying yesterday. Did something happen? Yeah. Okay. I don't care. Clearly I do care because it's my sister, but you know. Anything else about mitochondria? Anything else anyone wants to say about mitochondria? Do you guys have any cool facts? Any cool facts about mitochondria that you learned in your time here? You learned from someone smarter than I am? You know? Anything? Anything cool? Or else we'll put it to rest.
A lot of pathways happen within mitochondria.
Yes, they do. Lots of pathways happen. Like what? What are some of the pathways that happen within mitochondria? Just going into biochem a little bit.
Electron transport chain.
Yes, number 1. Next? Huh?
TCA.
TCA cycle. Very good. Number 2. Next?
Gluconeogenesis. Or
Can neither confirm nor deny. Right? Part of it, probably. Next? Fatty acid oxidation. Happens in where? Fatty acid oxidation actually happens in the cytosol. Fatty acid synthesis, however, like I talked about you earlier, happens in the mitochondria. Yeah, right? Because, and I'm going to show you guys the coolest thing, and if you guys can follow, then you'll actually benefit from this. One of the coolest things in physiology, in endocrine physiology, which we're going to have a whole lesson on and everything, is that insulin activates the enzyme ACC, which turns acetyl-CoA. It's okay if this is off camera, it doesn't matter. That turns acetyl-CoA into malonyl-CoA, which is actually a potent inhibitor of carnitine palmitoyltransferase 1, which is the enzyme, don't write this down, which is the enzyme that fats and can use to get into the mitochondria. Sorry, that means that breakdown does happen in the mitochondria. You are correct. And I am wrong. And we'll correct myself later. So forget that. But this is correct. This is absolutely correct. Insulin activates acetyl-CoA carboxylase. When too much acetyl-CoA is there, meaning you had a high-calorie meal, lots of sugars, right? Which means you have an excess of sugars, which means you have an excess of energy, which means you're putting it away, which means you're trying to push for fatty acid synthesis. You're trying to push for that. And malonyl-CoA is a potent inhibitor of CPT1, which is the rate-limiting enzyme of fatty acid oxidation. So the thing that started the pathway towards this shuts down the alternate pathway. Awesome. Sick. Right? And I know you can sit there and scratch your head. It's fine. We're going to talk all about that in biochem. This is a glimpse into difficulty 3 out of 10 biochem. That's pretty straightforward. But that's why we're here, talking about the mitochondria, not in biochem. Imagine if I started with biochem. I walk in, yo, carbohydrate metabolism. You guys would quit. I would watch you guys leave. I would watch you guys march out the door. I don't think I'd leave with my life. What are lysozymes? What are lysozymes? I feel like everyone throws these words around. They're just like lysozyme. You know, Golgi. Like you walk into like a freshman year bio class and it's just like a bunch of people biting their hair who've never been away from their parents ever before. They're like, lysozyme, right? They're just so scared and traumatized. What is a lysozyme? Yeah. Guys, very simply, they're recycling centers. That's it. They are the Department of Sanitation. And I used to go into this long like rant about them. No. That's it. They pick things up, they chop them up, and then, yeah. You know? Yeah? But they do function alongside endosomes, which are the things that sort of package stuff and move them around the cell and package your proteins and blah, blah, and this and that. This guy's smart, I can tell. This guy's studied a lot of this stuff. He's looking at me, he's like, "Ki bakwas," like, what is this guy talking about? Lysosome. Let's put one right over here. You guys like that? Yeah? Is that a good space for it? Yes? Say yes. Yes. Oh my God. We got to warm you guys up again. I forget. I'm like retraining a whole class of people. Guys, when I ask you for emotional validation, I need it or else I'm going to start crying. I can't do this alone. You're breaking up with me? Okay. Guys, always remember, when I put something on the board, I want you to think about it actively when we talk. Think about this. Think about the compartment. Think about the preservation of activity. Think about how unbelievable this is. Within that tiny thing, you can't even see all of this? Everything? Think about it. It's hard. It's difficult. It's really difficult to wrap your mind around, right? It's what makes me so passionate about the human body. It's beautiful. Anyone here watch The Pit? Yeah? Good show. Good show. Really good show. Endoplasmic reticulum, the ER. Honestly, one of my favorite parts of the hospital, the ER. Oh my God, what a place. What a place. You learn so much there. Not that I'd want to do it for the rest of my life, but you definitely do learn a lot there. Anyone here working in ER? I've asked this before. Big hands. Big hands. You guys are some troopers. Seriously. Smooth and rough. Endoplasmic reticulum comes in two forms. Smooth, criminal, and rough around the edges. Smooth and rough. Got tired of me? Not yet. That's a good answer. It's a very good answer. Once we start doing orgo, you guys will get it. Are you guys excited? Did anyone do anything interesting today? Anyone do anything fun today? You have to understand that when you sit in a room full of people, when you drive on the Dallas Tollway, you're driving past people who have experienced life very differently than you did. You're driving past people who experienced life in a very, very unique way that you did. I cried last night because I missed my mom. I'm so far away from my family. I'm very, very far away from my family. I miss them very much. And that's part of my life. And I'm sure that you guys have sad and happy moments in your lives that you're going through right now too. We're all here studying smooth and rough ER. And that's something to be happy about, right? Maybe not. Maybe not, but we're doing it. Okay. Who can tell me about the smooth ER? Yeah, so it's just like, it's all the stuff that you don't really think about in the cell. So it lacks ribosomes, number one. It has something to do with lipids. You are absolutely correct. I'm not smart enough to remember. And detoxification of drugs. Drugs and materials. Guys, I used to say this as a joke, and I say this very seriously now. There are 3 things that I never suggest doing after going through 3.5 years of medical school. I'm 6 months away from having my degree in my hand. I'm on my gap year right now, but 6 academic months away, right? Do not smoke, do not drink, and do not self-isolate. 3 of the most harmful things you can ever do in your entire life. And when I mean harmful, I mean any amount of it is incredibly harmful. Do not smoke, do not consume alcohol, do not self-isolate. Okay? I will have an entire evidence-based discussion on why those 3 things are harmful another time. But I can right now tell you that the number 1 risk factor of lung cancer, stroke, hypertension, and advancing atherosclerosis, so advancing clots, question mark, I'm not 100% sure about this one, is smoking. It used to be so bad that if you didn't know the answer to a question on step 2 and it was a risk factor question, you put smoking. Because 50% of the time you're correct. Don't smoke. There are so many questions in medical school. What is the number 1 risk factor of stroke? Smoking. Hypertension? Smoking. Peripheral vascular disease? Smoking. Erectile dysfunction? Smoking. And old age. Camera's off?
No, it's on. It's perfectly fine.
You scared the hell out of me. Yeah, I think when I come here, I step out. Give the people at home like a little bit of rest from how I look. Seeing a screaming brown man on my screen for like 3 hours would really scare me too. Okay. The rough ER is a little bit more interesting. It is absolutely studded with ribosomes. Wow, new player just entered the game. Who the hell is that? What is a ribosome? It is a factory for protein synthesis. And they will be denoted very specifically by a very specific type of notation in your notes. Are you guys ready? It's very specific. I want you to write ribosomes the same way every single time. Okay? Very specific. And the thing is, the way that the electron transfer chain, the way that the endoplasmic reticulum is actually set up is that, why is Christy still here? Is that it's actually a continuous series, people in the back, I'm sorry, of membranes with the nucleus. Anyone here ever been to Long Island, New York? Did you grow up on Long Island? I did.
I grew up in New York.
Where? What part?
Queens.
What part of Queens?
I don't remember. It was like 11 years ago.
Gotcha.
Regal Park at one point in Hillside.
Cool, cool. My best friends live in Hillside. Yeah, I moved here from New York. So, continuous with the nucleus. I was about to make a joke about the Long Island Railroad, but no one's gonna get it, so it's okay. I don't know anything about Texas public transportation, so don't ask me. I've heard that it's not great.
It doesn't exist.
Great, even better. You know what? Screw those poor people, man. Forget them. Who needs poor people when you're rich? Oh, guys, we're gonna have a lot of fun here.
It's like 7:30, so if you want to break for Maghrib, now.
Huh? What time does Maghrib then go off? 7:30. Is it time for Maghrib adhan? I need you to confirm this answer.
7:29.
So Maghrib adhan went off. Okay. We will finish this and we will break for Maghrib in a bit. My fast is on you if you're wrong.
This is the Shafi timing, so maybe you want to check with Hannah.
Is there a Hanafi here?
Hanafi viewers, yeah.
7:31? Okay. 29. All right, I trust you. All right, back to business. We will finish this, take a break. Okay, study with the ribosomes, blah, blah, whatever. Continues with nucleus. So, guys, I know you're freaking out. Okay, cool. Awesome. Very cool. Day in the life. Continuous with the nucleus. Okay? Like a train track. This is not a bacteria. This is the nucleus with the extending endoplasmic reticulum. I'm going to shorten it a little bit just because I know what's coming. I know what's coming. It's not fun. And we are going to very delicately, very deliberately fill it with ribosomes. We're getting somewhere. It's kind of looking like a cell, a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one. I have. One of them used to be my roommate back in the day, so got to know him pretty well. Stupid dad jokes. Oh my God, I'm like 25. I'm actually 25. That's so sad. I can feel the arthritis. Like my meniscus just like cries out like twice a day. It's just like, oh God, why? What did I say the ribosomes were? Protein factories, right? And those protein factories exist on the which endoplasmic reticulum? The rough, yeah. And the smooth just sort of continues with it, right? I'm not really going to draw in the smooth because like it's not important enough for me to do that. I do want to ask you a question, though. I want to ask you a question. By the way, if you have to wash up for prayer, go now. What I write now is going to be on the board when we come back, and I will re-explain it. So if you need to wash up for prayer, go now. If I was a cancer researcher and I took a biopsy of your liver, a hepatocyte, versus I took a slice of your muscle, a myocyte. That's not how you spell myocyte. Can you tell me predominantly relatively which one would be greater in each? You're going to be like, dude, I don't know. I haven't studied hepatocytes before and myocytes and whatever. Yeah, you'd have, because you just studied cellular biology. And all cells at their core are kind of the same. So tell me, relatively, which one's going to have greater ones of which? Yes? Why? Why?
Because the smooth is responsible for lipids, you need more of it in the liver, and muscle is responsible for a lot more protein than rough.
Precisely. But I just wanted you to modify your statement by one word. In the liver, it's not because of the lipids, it's because of detoxification. Detox. Have you guys heard of first pass metabolism? Any pharma people in here? Pharmacology? First pass metabolism is when you ingest something, a pill, ibuprofen, right? And you eat it and it goes into your bloodstream and it gets absorbed through your GI tract. All GI tract drains into what? What vein? It's called the portal vein, right? And the portal vein drops off all of the blood to the liver. And you're like, hold up, wait. If you're an anatomy and physiology person, you just broke a rule. You said the vein brings the blood to the liver. I did. And there's also the hepatic artery. Why is the vein bringing the blood? It's not just any vein. It's called a portal vein. A hepatic portal vein. And a portal vein circulates blood twice before returning it to the heart. The reason for this is because whatever you ingest needs to pass through the liver to get metabolized and broken down and detoxified and everything before you move forward. Which is why when you really want to get a drug into a person, you put it under their tongue, which will go straight into their vein plexus under their tongue, go straight into the bloodstream, or you shoot it. Or you give it to them through a central catheter directly into the heart. Okay? Does that make sense? And for the muscle, like you said, muscles probably have relatively higher burden of protein synthesis, correct? So, that being said, we'll cut the video right now. We'll put it in 2 parts. Let's stop that video, and I'll see you guys next time.